it's Chi-Town, it's Bears on the flight. Let me go tune in to Keek on the mic. He gon' make sure we get our news and highlights. When you get on YouTube, you better hit the likes.
These two names are the betting favorites to be the next Chicago Bears head coach. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Bears fans, make sure you do me another huge favor by also hitting the like button on today's episode of Keek on the Mic. Bears fans, before we go any further with today's episode of Keek on the Mic, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video, and that is BetUS. As always, Bears fans, make sure you guys head over to betus.com and use promo code YouTube150 for a 150% deposit bonus up to $2,000, and also get 125% second and third deposits as well when you place your bets through BetUS. And Bears fans, currently the Chicago Bears are 10-point underdogs against the Detroit Lions on that Thanksgiving game on Thursday. Will there be a Thanksgiving miracle for the Chicago Bears? Probably not, but, you know, Caleb Williams and the offense have looked good against their first two divisional matchups against the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. So I expect Caleb Williams and the offense to look good once again on Thursday. But overall, the Detroit Lions have looked really good. They're one of the best teams in the NFC, if not the best team in the NFL as well. So you think there's going to be some Thanksgiving magic for the Chicago Bears on Thursday? If so, go place your bet on the Chicago Bears to beat the Detroit Lions on Thursday. All right, Bears fans, we have been talking a whole lot about the coaching situation surrounding Matt Eberflus. At this point, we understand that Matt Eberflus should no longer be the head coach of the Chicago Bears. And just like I said yesterday on the podcast, Matt Eberflus is a loser. He will always be a loser. He has losing tendencies, and it's starting to wear on the players in the locker room as well. And even the players know that Matt Eberflus has no answers for him and that he is a loser and a lame duck head coach. Jalen Johnson actually went on a radio interview just today and was just talking about how he felt like this team was good enough to make the playoffs, and that was the expectations. Obviously, Ryan Poles has been building this roster over the past couple of years, but the one big mistake that he made was to retain head coach Matt Eberflus rather than giving Caleb Williams a brand new, maybe offensive-minded head coach to really put this team over the top. No, he stuck with head coach Matt Eberflus, and Eberflus is still making the same damn mistakes that we have been seeing from him since he became the Chicago Bears head coach a couple of years ago. And I really want you guys to understand what's on the line here, because history of Matt Eberflus as a Chicago Bears head coach has not been good. This is now a crisis. If Ryan Poles and the McCaskey family decide to, for some reason, keep head coach Matt Eberflus, that will not be good for the Chicago Bears. That would just show to me that this organization does not care about winning. Once again, Matt Eberflus is a loser, and he will always be a loser. He's just not a good head coach at this point. Once again, when you're just looking at this season for head coach Matt Eberflus and the Chicago Bears, we're talking about a tipped Hail Mary TD against the Commanders, a blocked field goal against the Green Bay Packers. The defense collapses in OT against the Minnesota Vikings. They only scored 3 points against one of the worst teams in the National Football League and the New England Patriots, and they lost every single one of those games. And that's not even counting when we got absolutely blown out by the Arizona Cardinals by a score of 29-9. So if you want to let Matt Eberflus cook, he's definitely cooking. He's cooking up a whole bunch of losses, and that's why it's critical for whoever the GM is. If it's Ryan Poles or if the Bears decide to go in a different direction, it's critical for the Chicago Bears to bring in a good coach to put this Bears team over the top. We understand that we have our quarterback in Caleb Williams. Now it's time to get him a really, really good head coach. I feel like we are a coach away from being a really good football team in the NFL. So a podcast, the 33rd team actually posted some odds of the next Chicago Bears head coach. And we're actually going to go over that list today because there's two very prominent names that I feel like Bears fans, including myself, will absolutely love, and you guys will have the opportunity on today's episode of Keek on the Mic to share your thoughts on this list, and if you think these coaches would be a good fit for the Chicago Bears. Let's go ahead and put this list up of the next Bears head coaching odds right now via of the 33rd team. And this list is loaded with talent of coaches that have experience of grooming quarterbacks, of having some of the top offenses in the National Football League. And a lot of these guys will be perfect fit, not only for the Chicago Bears, but perfect fit for Caleb Williams. Because at this point, that's all Bears fans care about. We want to make sure that Caleb Williams has the best coach possible, because we all know at the end of the day that Caleb Williams is special, and he's being held back by a lame duck head coach in Matt Eberflus. So let's go ahead and look at this list. First and foremost, Joe Brady of the Buffalo Bills, OC. Of course, Ben Johnson, OC of the Lions. Thomas Brown is third in odds right now to be the next head coach of the Chicago Bears. Aaron Glenn, defensive coordinator from the Detroit Lions. Liam Cohen, OC for the Bucks. Kellen Moore, OC for the Eagles. Mike Vrabel, he was the head coach for the Tennessee Titans. Josh McCown, which is the quarterback's coach for the Vikings. Drew Petzing of the Arizona Cardinals. And Brian Flores, the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. First and foremost, I'll be straight up honest with you guys. I do not want a defensive coordinator as our head coach. And granted, Aaron Glenn and Brian Flores are really, really good coaches. I think they would come in and hold our guys accountable. But I am only thinking about one person, and that is Caleb Williams. I don't think a defensive coordinator is going to benefit Caleb Williams unless you're able to hire Aaron Glenn, and Aaron Glenn keeps Thomas Brown in the fold, unless Thomas Brown goes and gets a head coaching job or wants to be an OC elsewhere. That's the only scenario that I can see that working. But overall, I feel like we need an offensive-minded head coach to be with Caleb Williams for the next 10 plus years, because I think that's when Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears offense and the Chicago Bears football team will finally flourish into its full potential. And that's why I go all the way back up to the top and I look at Joe Brady, offensive coordinator from the Buffalo Bills, Ben Johnson, offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, and obviously Thomas Brown with a small body of work that we have seen with him being OC for Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears this season. So this trend seems pretty clear for the Chicago Bears. It seems like Las Vegas believes that they are focused on finding a young, proven offensive specialist that they can pair with Caleb Williams in the Chicago Bears offense for the future. Once again, when you look at Ben Johnson, he's 38 years old, and he runs the #1 scoring offense in the National Football League. He's produced a top 10 unit each of the past 3 seasons with the Detroit Lions. They are firmly the favorites to win the Super Bowl this year due to their high-powered offense. They put up 50 points a couple of times this season. He's made Jared Goff truly into some people's minds an MVP candidate. He's done wonders for the Detroit Lions. He had a couple opportunities to be a head coach over the last couple of years. He decided to go back to Detroit to finish the job, and it looks like, the Detroit Lions are a front runner to win the Super Bowl this year due to the part of how good the Detroit Lions offense has been under his leadership. So that's obviously a great option. I know Bears fans really, really want Ben Johnson to be the next head coach of the Chicago Bears, just to think what he would be able to do with Caleb Williams and the pieces that we have on this offense. It would be absolutely ridiculous. I think he would make Caleb Williams into a top 3 quarterback instantly. I think the Bears offense would have a top 10 unit here in the National Football League under his leadership. And then, of course, Joe Brady. He's 35 years old, offensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills. They also have a really good offense. They're the number 3 scoring offense with quarterback Josh Allen looking like a heavy favorite to win MVP as well. And to me, he would be a really, really good candidate for Caleb Williams. And once again, he's a young offensive mind. I like the idea that Joe Brady's 35 years old. Ben Johnson's 38 years old. They have already proven that they can be really good offensive coordinators and have their teams at the top of the league in terms of scoring offense and all that good stuff, and also grooming the quarterbacks that they have. Obviously, Josh Allen is a top 5 quarterback. Obviously, to me, it's more impressive on what Ben Johnson was able to do with a guy like Jared Goff, especially when it looked like his career was taking a downhill slope. Obviously, he gets traded to the Detroit Lions from the Los Angeles Rams, and Ben Johnson has been excellent with the Detroit Lions as well. The only thing when you're looking at those two guys, and this is me being honest, I think they would be outstanding hires. It would definitely be a PR hire in terms of getting the Bears fans excited because, hey, we're bringing in Joe Brady, an offensive mind. We're bringing in Ben Johnson, offensive mind, to pair with Caleb Williams to take them to the next level. And I feel like they would do that, but they've never been head coaches. They have no head coaching experience. And to me, that would be the huge question marks. They would both be rookie head coaches. How would they be able to handle the balance of being an offensive play caller and a head coach? Would they make the same mistakes as Matt Eberflus, or would they elevate? Would they be great head coaches? Obviously, for Ryan Poles and the Bears organizations, I think that would be a risk that they would be willing to take, especially when you're thinking about your franchise quarterback and Caleb Williams. And that is really the only person that matters is Caleb Williams, his development, his growth, because we will only go as far as Caleb Williams' development and growth, and both of those guys would be A-plus hires for the Chicago Bears. But then obviously you look at a guy like Thomas Brown. I think, we talked about rumors about Thomas Brown maybe having the opportunity to be the next head coach of the Chicago Bears. To me, it's no coincidence that he has the third best odds to be the Chicago Bears' next head coach, right? And it's due to the fact that players in the locker room already love him. Caleb Williams has already given the vote of confidence. A couple of guys on the defense side of the football on this football team have already given Thomas Brown the vote of confidence. We've already seen what he's been able to do with Caleb Williams. It looked like Caleb Williams' rookie season was lost under Shane Waldron. They promote Thomas Brown, and he has been excellent against two very good defenses in the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. So really, we can't really call out Thomas Brown as well. I think Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears would be very comfortable, in my personal opinion, by promoting Thomas Brown, especially if the Chicago Bears look this good on offense to finish out the season. So I think Thomas Brown will get a shot to be the next Chicago Bears head coach as well. But for me personally, if I had to rank these guys, I would probably go Ben Johnson 1, Thomas Brown 2, and then Joe Brady 3. And the only reason why I have Thomas Brown at number 2 over Joe Brady is because he already has that connection with Caleb Williams. He's already been able to bring Caleb Williams' rookie season back to life, and he's going to already have that connection with him and the Chicago Bears offense. So I think that gives him a leg up over Joe Brady. But Ben Johnson is Ben Johnson. I think that would be everyone's hire if they were in GM Ryan Poles' shoes. But like I said, we have to do the dirty work first, and that means firing Matt Eberflus. Once again, he's a lame duck head coach. Ryan Poles, the Chicago Bears organization, are going to let him finish this season out. I'm expecting a lot more heartbreaking losses due to the fact that he doesn't know how to be a situational head coach. He will find a way to lose more football games because that's what Matt Eberflus does. But Bears fans, let me ask you guys this. Once the Bears do finally hire our lame duck head coach and Matt Eberflus, who would you want the Chicago Bears to hire as their next head coach of this football team? Would it be Ben Johnson, Joe Brady, Thomas Brown? Or do you like the idea of bringing in a guy like Aaron Glenn, Mike Vrabel, or even a guy like Brian Flores? Let me know down below in the comment section. But as always, Bears fans, make sure you continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. And make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears that you know. And once again, make sure you guys head over to betus.com and use promo code YouTube150 for 150% deposit bonus up to $2,000 and get 125% second and third deposits as well if you think the Chicago Bears can upset the Detroit Lions this Thursday on Thanksgiving in Detroit. But other than that, be back for an all-new Bears podcast right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic.